What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle and welcome back to another Overpowered video. As you can see, we're still here. EA Studios, San Francisco. That's what's happening in the backdrop. If you appreciate these videos, make sure to drop a thumbs up. And we're gonna talk about players that are good for starter squads, gonna be cheap, gonna be effective, affordable. And in the comments, what do you guys think? Who's on your list? What's your top 5? Did I leave somebody off? Did I not give enough credit? We can have that free-flowing conversation back and forth, little discussion board down below. But without further ado, let's talk about it. I always like to start with the honorable mentions, and I do want to almost begin with a disclaimer. The Serie, not a very expensive league, even top to bottom. I mean, there's some of the highest rated players that are going to cost you a pretty penny. But outside of that, even when you're looking at 84s or 83s in their overall rating, what you get out of them, what you're gonna have to pay, their affordability, it makes it a little bit trickier in this league to really be able to specify properly with the traditional overpowered criteria. Or it's just me, I don't know. First on the list, Juan Contrato, who gives you the skill moves, that silkiness, the ability to attack via the wings. I wouldn't say his positioning has always been the best for me, and he's not the strongest of players, but when you have someone who has 5-star skills, whether it's the scoop turns or the fake shots, and we know in FIFA 20 how important being able to counterattack and being able to attack space and turn with offensive players and have crisp touches and the advantage that it actually gives you. And Cuadrado is an easy player to get into squads. You got a bunch of links. He should be talked about. All right, we've got not one, not two, but 3 additional quick-fire honorable mentions. Classic players such as Muriel, who's always been overpowered since the beginning of times, it feels like, in FIFA. Even when he was a silver player, if you're gonna date back a little bit, he just gives you the pace, the skill moves. He always is constantly making those in-behind runs. And if you're good at through balls, unleash him, let him finish a 1v1. Not going to be an issue, always clinical. Next up, we have Cassie and Albert. Both guys are easy pickups, whether it's Albert for the pace and the Brazilian links, in case you need someone who's maybe a little bit cheaper, can't quite afford the Alexandro or even the Alex Telles just yet. This could be an easy pickup for you. Cassie, consistent in the midfield, never gets tired, can run all game. And if you don't have a big budget or you're working with fitness teams, he's a really easy player to integrate into multiple squads. He has the ability to cover a few different roles. He's a utility player in the midfield, and you just get fantastic value. If you've included him, then you already know this. It's not gonna be groundbreaking for you. At number 5, we have Solinsky, who I don't see talked about that often, maybe because of some of his links or lack thereof, but a 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills. And in the midfield in particular this year, when you turn somebody, it's often more beneficial to attack that space, to take a touch forward, to force the opposition's midfield or their defenders to step up, which allows you to hit the classic little 1-2s, those through balls, over the top, maybe even a skill move session or the new dribbling with the L1. Solinsky is just a player that I personally enjoy using, and I just don't see him come up in many conversations, so I wanted to give him some love in the video. Bonaventura, another Italian, decent size, someone who's gonna be able to run around that midfield. He can roam, whether you need a holding mid or a center mid, a true box to box. You could probably get away with using him as a center attacking mid. He does have the 4-star skills. I don't think I'd recommend that. He's not the biggest, he's not the most dominant or polarizing figure in the midfield. He's not going to give you that 6'3" big body slamming left, slamming right. That's not necessarily going to be his role, but he's solid, and he always seems to be very affordable. He's one of the cheaper options. Nice little starter squad inclusion. Here, I talked about Bonaventura. What about Rabiot? A little bit of a different stylistic player, even though the stats are similar, because he is 6'4". He does command a bit more of some respect in the midfield, that grunt. You see, like, he's also got long hair, don't care, as Scott Cole would say. Not gonna be an amazing attacking player. Now, he can go forward, he can facilitate the play, he can step into space, but long shot taking, finesse shots, don't count on that hitting the back of the net, outside the box, not really. That's not in his arsenal. But early on especially, you can count on Rabiot being able to break up plays, being able to cover a lot of ground, being able to chase back and impact the match. and he's going to be able to last the full 90. Typically has pretty solid stamina. This foot item is around 80, so it's not actually that amazing. But because he has that size, he can get to a lot. You can count on good positioning. Runner-up position, Lozano. And Chewkey has obviously moved to the Serie. We'll see if he's able to get any informs, and I think this is statistically the best variation we've seen of Chewkey Lozano in any FIFA installment, and we've seen what he's been able to accomplish, at least when we're looking at the baseline foot item. And Chewkey's known to be a super sub, come off the bench, blazing pace, going left, going right, cutting in behind. We've all conceded headers against Jugee Lozano as well for no reason. He doesn't statistically make sense that he's going to score back post headers or be able to get on the end of crosses. It's not really in his attributes or his characteristics. If you lay him out, if you read through the paperwork and the statistical allocation, but he gets the job done. And it's a big reason I bring up Chewkey Lozano as an overpowered player, is because it's not even all about his stats. He just has that extra oomph, or he's had that in the past. So I don't doubt that he's going to have that in this year, in the present, and also in the future if he gets upgraded foot items or maybe some new issues or reissues. We're going to see him putting in work, causing problems, breaking controllers all around the FIFA community. It's just consistent with what makes Lozano Lozano. And topping the charts, we have Florenzi. And in a title or an installment where many players got downgraded, players aren't nearly as fast, maybe not nearly as complete, Florenzi still got the juice, especially for a fullback. Doesn't get tired. He can use the skill moves, he can attack the space. If you need him to score goals, fine. And he has the versatility to play a few positions, whether you want to use him as a fullback, of course that's his natural position, as a holding mid, as a center mid. Might even be able to introduce him to a center back position, just depending what you're playing and how you're playing it. Definitely a 3 at the back. If you had him on the outside, I don't think that would be an issue. I've always been able to count on Florenzi in any installment, and he's someone that I recommend. But you guys can let me know what you think. What's your list looking like? I'm listening. I want to hear more. The comments are there for a reason. It's free to subscribe, and I have a lot more content coming for you ASAP. I'm off to a flight. Peace.